Welcome to the Explainer. Every couple wants a partnership that lasts, but what's the actual playbook for building one? Today, we're diving into Dr. Lane Lassater's really practical guide for creating a relationship that's strong enough to handle, well, just about anything. This quote, it just nails it, right? It's about that shift from the early romance to a real working partnership. It's not just about the two of you, it's about the two of you facing the world together. But what happens when you're not looking in the same direction? Because, let's be honest, every single couple eventually hits a crossroads. It's some big life decision that has the potential to pull you in totally different directions. And how you handle that moment, well, it can either make you stronger or it can start to pull you apart. To really see just how high the stakes can get, we're going to start with a crisis from Dr. Lasseter's own marriage. It's a pretty intense story about what happens when one person just grabs the steering wheel and tries to drive for both of them. So, a few years into his marriage, what he saw as this incredible, can't-miss career opportunity popped up in Texas. For him, it felt like a make-or-break move for his professional life. The thing is, there was one pretty massive catch. And here it is, this is the heart of the problem. He made a unilateral decision. They had already agreed to live in Colorado, but he tried to force this new plan through, basically just assuming his wife, Nancy, would say, sure, okay, and go along with it. Well, she didn't. Nancy put her foot down, hard, and the whole thing got so bad they had to go to marriage counseling. Now, she did eventually agree to move, but she gave him a crystal clear warning. If you ever try to force a decision on me like that again, we're done. So that crisis, that absolute rock bottom moment, actually became the foundation for them to completely reinvent their relationship. It's what forced them to create the core tool we're going to talk about today, a formal partnership agreement built entirely around consensus. So what does consensus really mean? It means you both give up your individual power to say no and veto something. It's a huge act of trust, right? But Dr. Lasseter says surrendering his veto power to the partnership was, and I quote, absolutely the best thing I've ever done. It's the ultimate bedrock for trust. So your agreement isn't some gusty document. It's a living roadmap. It's where you blend your individual dreams into a shared vision and get super clear on the non-negotiables. Like where you're going to live, whether you want kids, how you'll handle money, all the big stuff. Okay, so you've got your shared roadmap. But what about the day-to-day journey? A partnership is only as healthy as the two people in it, right? And that brings us to the next big tool, learning how to manage your own well-being. I want you to think of yourself like an airplane pilot. Your feelings, your energy levels, your physical health, all of that stuff, it's like the gauges on an instrument panel. They're giving you constant feedback, telling you how all your systems are running. And that instrument panel has warning lights. Green means you're flying smooth, all good. Yellow is that first little flicker of worry, but if you ignore it, you hit orange, where you start to feel it physically, headaches, exhaustion. Then comes red. We're talking serious burnout. At that point, your body is basically screaming at you to change course. So what do you do when one of those warning lights starts flashing? You don't just ignore it and hope it goes away. You turn to a checklist, one that's designed to help you figure out what's wrong and get back to flying smoothly. And the very first thing on this checklist is all about the voice inside your head. Is it beating you up? Because switching from "it's all my fault" to something like, okay, I'm learning from this experience, that's not just some feel-good trick. It's the difference between being paralyzed and actually taking action. The rest of the checklist gives you this amazing framework for getting back on your feet. And it's all practical stuff. Owning and correcting your mistakes, having a real self-care plan, and making a conscious choice to get away from toxic people or situations. It's all about actively designing a life that supports you. And on that self-care plan, there's one phrase you have to remember: progress, not perfection. This isn't about suddenly becoming a perfect health nut overnight. It's about small, consistent things, taking a walk, calling a friend, having a quiet moment, that build you up over time. Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've got the big picture map, the partnership agreement, and we've got the personal navigation tools, that instrument panel and checklist. How do these things actually come together to help you design that future you both want? It really all boils down to this one idea. A great partnership is not an accident. It's intentional. You have to create that shared vision, commit to making decisions together, and then each of you has to take full responsibility for your own well-being. It's a whole system. And this is why it all matters so much. Following this kind of framework, it's not just about not fighting or avoiding a disaster like that one in Texas. It's about unlocking what Dr. Lossetter calls a wonderful power, that amazing energy that only happens when you're truly in it together. And that really leaves us with one final powerful question to think about. Once you and your partner are truly looking outward, together, in the same direction, what amazing power could your partnership unlock?